Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to our June 30th show, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, June is almost over. You know how important June is to me. It is my birthday month, and I celebrate the entire month, and today is no exception. I'm going to celebrate right until midnight. I hope everybody has had a great week and everybody's doing well. Again, thank you to our show tonight. Um, we are really happy that you guys are here. And as I said, today is June the 30th, and we are ending Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, can you believe it has been, a very, very action-packed month, and this being the end of Pride Month, who knew that our month would end this way with the Supreme Court and the cases that they have in front of them this week, ladies and gentlemen. These cases here that are before you, the Supreme Court has had these cases in front of them. Some of them, they have already made their decisions. Some cases, or most of them, or even all of them, are just horrible. And we're going to talk about them tonight because I know with the two who sit beside me, I know they have something that they do want to say. I want to thank everybody. Again, this month, we have been celebrating our Black Music Month series, and we have just been so incredibly grateful for the artists that have been on the show. Already, we've had Naj, we've had Kia Bennett, we've had Celine Waters, and tonight is no exception, ladies and gentlemen. We have Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, producer, and host Sylver Logan Sharp. She's with us tonight. She has two self-produced albums to her credit, and she's a former member of the iconic singing group Chic. Sylver has just been a faithful he said fan member or guest member and support system, and we're just so glad that she's back with us tonight. And believe me, it's going to be a great show. All right. It is also this week, 4th of July weekend, leading into 4th of July. And, before I say anything, this is one of those holidays, me being, an animal lover, that really gets to me. And so please take care of your animals, ladies and gentlemen, because, they do not like these kind of noise. And I wanted to also pay homage this week, since we're talking about animals. This is Scotty, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty has won the Ugliest Dog Award for 2023. And, he's not your conventional dog. He's a 7-year-old Chinese crested dog, born deformed, and he has reverse hind legs. This is his owner. He's been doing the circuit, all week. And, I just wanted to, I know he's not an attractive dog. See, I'm not using ugly. He is not an attractive dog. But, sometimes you got to use your imperfections to be recognized. And look at him. Look at him. He is now the ugliest dog in 2023. Okay, so we got to give Scotty some credit. Thank you, Scotty. And, also this week, I gotta say it, since we're talking about music. Last Sunday, it kicked off. The BET Awards took place, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most poorly produced BET shows that I've seen in a long time. I know that the writers are on strike, but are the people who hit the Time's Up bell, were they on strike too? Because Busta Rhymes but I'm not here to talk about Busta Rhymes. The most talked about part of that show, ladies and gentlemen, was Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle got hoodwinked into singing during the poorly produced BET Awards. Now, her responsibility was to, sing a song. She was honoring the, icon Tina Turner. And, her job was to sing the song, to remember the song and, just deliver it. But that did not happen. And, for me, so I could get this off my chest, some of you all think that Sheree on Real Housewives of Atlanta coined the terms, "Who gonna check me, boo?" But Patti, based on that show, could have stopped that whole show and said, "You all get from in front of that camera, in front of that teleprompter, because I can't see it." And so she could have performed, but she didn't do that. So I'm just going to say, regarding that, to bring some closure to it, things could have worked out a heck of a lot better for Patty, one, if she had just said no. Okay? Because something was wrong that didn't allow her to be the Patti LaBelle that we all know and love. Okay, so that was some of the things that were happening this week, ladies and gentlemen. I am ready to get on with the show, and I can't do it without my guys. So if you all are ready for the chat, let's go to the chat.
Hey, y'all. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
Oh, wait a minute. Be true. Be true to who?
Well, it is the last day of Pride, and so I just thought that I would wear this T-shirt in honor of it being the last day of Pride.
Nice, nice.
Look at you. Look at you.
Look.
You have another one?
I got to say something in defense of Miss Patti LaBelle.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Because I often play the game with friends where you like find the best singing thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And there are two things that always help me win.
And one
of them is Stephanie Mills singing Home on Broadway, because someone got a bootleg little video of that. And the other is Patti LaBelle and Cyndi Lauper singing Time After Time, when Patti LaBelle went up on her lyrics and they just improvised. So Miss Patti can sing. I didn't see the BET Awards, but I hope that regardless of the lyrics, that she still managed to come through and sing.
Well, that would be a no. That I have to be honest. That would be a no.
Okay.
The band was rehearsed.
Uh-huh.
The background singers and the choirs were rehearsed.
Uh-huh.
But Miss Patti was not.
Oh, sorry about that.
And again, they said that she could not see the teleprompter because people were standing in front of it. But like I said, for the type of show that it was, she could have told the band, stop the music. Y'all sit down somewhere because I got a show to do.
Wow.
And again, who gonna check Patti LaBelle?
Nobody. Well, apparently some ratchet child in a bikini dancing in the aisles would have.
He or she would have just got beat down because it was that kind of crowd. You know what I'm saying? But it's it was just that kind of crowd. But I understand. So it was just a bad day for Patti. But we love her. We know that she can sing, and that's it. But speaking of Patti and train wrecks, ladies, because that seemed like what it was. This I just want to bring to you all's attention in the chat. I don't know if you all are aware of it, but there is a TikTok challenge that's going around right now called train surfing. I don't know if you all have seen it, but there have been more than 100 subway surfing instances in the first 2 months of 2023. Now, I don't know why these people don't think going to get a job at Safeway to help people put their bags in the car. If they want some excitement, I mean, why do you have to get on top of a train and do that? And the bad part about it is when they do it, it disrupts your ride. They may get killed, but you stuck underground because they have done something that's just ridiculous. I just don't understand why you would do that. But 3 people have died in New York, and 2 people, or 1 person has died in DC over the last 2 weeks because of this.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. And I just can't put my finger on it. And I don't even want to blame TikTok. And I'm just going to stop because this is by their own means. So I just don't get it. So that's been a part on my mind all week, other than what's happening today.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I never cease to be amazed by what people will gravitate to. Whether you remember on social media, there was the one where the people would get out of the car while the car was rolling, and you remember they were taping and the doors, people would fall or the doors would close on them. I think there's some people just have a lot of time on their hands.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm tired of people blaming COVID too for everything.
Well, keeping in with the chat, I'm just gonna have to jump in. So you guys know that the Black Eyed Peas are on world tour. And as part of their promotional interviews, etc., a reporter asked will.i.am about the band's decision to wear rainbow armbands while they performed in Poland earlier this year. And for those of you who don't know, Poland is notoriously bad for its record on LGBTQI plus rights. Politicians are actively hostile, and violence against the community is commonplace. So speaking on behalf of the band, which is a consistent record for queer rights and supporting the queer community, will.i.am explained that while the concert was being broadcast by the state-owned network, the politicians and the politics of the government was not shared by the Black Eyed Peas. They said that wearing the rainbow armbands was their way of sending a very clear message that is unmistakable, that they stand in solidarity with the LGBTQIA community, that queer rights and human rights are paramount in their consciousness, and that they do not agree with any governmental policies anywhere that allow citizens to be treated differently, have fewer rights, or be put in harm's way because of their sexuality, their gender, their race, ability, country of origin, or anything else that divides us. So as we round out Pride Month, when you ever wonder where is the love, you know you have some coming from the Black Eyed Peas.
Amen. Amen.
I applaud them. Well, they must not be performing in America anytime soon.
Well, I think Fergie might still be trying to haunt them and come back into.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
Okay, because judging from this week, that's all I got to say. But yeah, thank you for that, Vash. I'm a huge fan of the Black Eyed Peas, so I'm on board with them. Yeah.
Well, as we talk about policies and political policies and so forth, the Supreme Court has certainly been very busy here in the United States as well, with 3 very controversial and landmark rulings of late. One of them certainly being the one that where they struck down race-based admissions policies at both Harvard and the University of North Carolina. It was a strike against the notion of affirmative action. And you can see, based upon the image that's on our screen right now, that there were 3 judges that who offered a dissent. Justice Jackson, Justice Sotomayor, and Justice Kagan were the ones who spoke up against this ruling, and understanding the impact that it will have in terms of college admissions and its impact on policies around affirmative action, not just in issues places of higher education, but also employment as well. And for me, I think as an educator, I think one of the things that is most ironic and rich to me is that as a country, as a nation and society, where race has been the foundation upon which the standard has been set, mainly that of white Americans. They have gained benefits as a result of being white as long as this country has existed. And it's very rich and interesting to me that now all of a sudden the issue of race is something that should not be considered when you think about how it has been centered, not just considered, but centered in the establishment of our nation and our society. And it is a significant blow against our efforts of equity and inclusion.
Okay, I would like to say something, and I keep coming back to this, but I want to make it really super clear here. When Brown versus the Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas was decided by the Supreme Court that separate but equal was not equal.
Yes.
Everyone thinks that those bitches went away. The Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. They did not.
No,
they did not. Nor did their ilk. And since that moment, they have been conspiring and trying to figure out a way to get back to a place where they do not have to educate Black and brown children.
When you look at this
from that lens, it is not a surprise that this is what's going on. It is not a surprise. It is not a surprise that their long game has included putting people in positions of power, putting people in like judge positions, and like stacking the Supreme Court to get away with all the things that will allow them to get back to not educating Black and brown children.
Absolutely. And there are multiple rulings this week that support that. The whole notion of the rejection of the president's student loan debt repayment plan, and who that will most impact in terms of our society will be Black and brown. students in terms of that debt. The recent ruling around the website designer not being able to or not having to design any type of website for those of the LGBTQIA plus community. The stacking, as you said, of the current Supreme Court is designed and strategic to literally define what making America great again looks like.
I'm going to say something, but I wanted to read. Is it Vivian? Is that Gagu?
Anything you say will let everybody know that you can't pronounce that name, which none of us can.
Okay.
And that's who it is.
I didn't know if we wanted to read that because I have something that I want to say, but I didn't want to, and I didn't know what Vivian. Okay, we'll get to. What I want to say is all of this is, horrific on many fronts, but it's no surprise to me.
Absolutely.
And who I'm most upset with right now, I am really upset with these undecided voters. Okay, I'm really upset with all of you who have, for all of you who sat back and said, I'm not going to vote. Voting matters.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you didn't vote now have put first of all, you've put people in a position to have their voting rights taken away from them. Since 2016, you have had women's rights taken away from them since, the ruling that happened just last year, Brown versus Roe. Now,
Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus Wade. I was thinking of brown people. And then, here we are today. I really do blame these undecided voters who've been sucked in to think that they don't have to vote and that their vote doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And that to me, that is one huge reason we are. So I hope all of this that's going on right now, I hope it impacts them the most. It really pisses me off that I know that they're the reason them not voting probably, enabled 2016 to happen. And here we are today. So
I think that it is deeper, longer,
this has been a very long game plan. Yes.
It is a long game. And I think that there is a need for multiple parties. The two-party system in this country does not work. There are other democratic systems that, other parties pop up, get into power, do things, make changes. The system here has brainwashed people in so many ways and have gotten people to the point where they can be manipulated in so many ways. And there are other forces that control the government in so many ways that there is more of a revolt and revolution that is needed.
I get it. I do. And I know we have to move on, but I appreciate the opinions here because, like I said, this is one of those topics that we could have a whole show on, and our show tonight is about love and music, okay?
Exactly.
And we have to move into it. But thank you guys for your chat. I never know what they're going to chat about sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, and we just go off. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it's been a rich week.
It's been a rich week, but now it's time for some. We need love up in this house, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, again, it has been our Black Music Month series, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going off on a high note. And you know what? I'm not even. She's a force of her own. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you all will put your hands together, your clicks together, or whatever, and please welcome to the He Said stage, Miss Sylver Logan Sharp.
Well, there she is.
Hey. What's up?
Hey.
What's up? How are all the beautiful people that he said?
Oh, much better now.
Much better now. Okay. Okay. How you doing, my sister?
Y'all look so handsome and things. I'm good. I am in Miami, Florida at a conference, so forgive my connection in this dark, tired little room, but I would not miss this for the world.
Well, we are so glad that you're here. We are so glad that you're here. Actually, we're so glad that you returned. And so I before we get off, because we have this strong love for this mother-daughter bond you have. So how is Miss Paula doing? Please. How's she doing?
Is in the mother. Pop in for a second.
Shut up!
Hey! Hi, Miss Paula.
Hey, Miss Paula.
Hey,
There she is.
How you
how
doing,
the
sweetheart?
kings of he said.
Right.
It's so nice to meet you.
Good. He said,
I'm good.
Well, thank you for. Well, I didn't know
so
you
we're
were in the
down
room,
here.
so what's going on in Florida?
She's hanging out.
Oh, she's hanging out.
So
Okay.
we're in Miami for a conference, if you will, of marketing strategies and all of those things, because it's not enough to be an artist. We have to be moguls,
Mm-mm.
So I'm, sharpening my iron, for lack of a better description.
All right, be a mogul.
And
That's
it
what I'm
just happens
talking.
to be here. Yeah, it just happens to be here.
And be a mogul with mama.
Can y'all see her?
Okay. we can
Be a
see
mogul
her.
with your mama. That's what
Well,
I'm
thank
saying.
you. I didn't know you were in the
And-
room, and so I even had some pictures that I was that I asked the producer to put up so they could see what you look like. Okay, look, I had some pictures.
Bam.
I was
Love
like,
that picture.
but I didn't know that you were there. So look, we got the best of it. Okay.
Oh
Bam.
my goodness. I haven't seen that in forever. Where did you dig that up? I love
Bam.
it.
Well,
That's
we are. He
great.
said. I look at the
Yes,
world.
I
Okay.
forgot for a second
Look at
what I
the
was
world.
dealing with. I know y'all find all the good stuff.
We are light and
So it's
bright,
some
but
hot
we will
topics
dig
on
in
the
the dark internet for you, darling. We will dig deep.
We will dig
I love
deep.
it. I love it. I
Well,
love it.
we know that we only have you for a short
I
time,
love
so
it.
we got to go in on you because we got some questions for you. I know our viewers want to know better. And if you all are ready to start, let's get on. Let's get Sylver on the
Let's
road.
get in it.
Okay, let's get in it. Get in it. Go ahead. All right.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask the question. First of all, it's very nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I actually saw you when you were on the show before. I wasn't a member of the He Said trio, but I'm
Nice.
very happy to meet you this time. And so,
Okay.
as we were talking about Black History Month, what does it mean celebrating Black History Month to you as a recording artist and someone who's been in the business for a while? And given that, what do you feel the state of Black music is today? Oh my goodness, I've never left anyone speechless. I think
you
she's
left us
still.
speechless. I'm going to Florida. Okay.
She smelled your
I
breath.
lost you, but I think you asked me. I think you asked me what did I think of Black music today? Is that what you asked me?
The first question was, what do you think about
I'm
the
gonna need a
celebration
cocktail
of
for
Black
that.
music? Black Music Month, and then the state of Black music today.
Wow. Mercy. That's a loaded question. I have mixed emotions about music right now. I really do. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the right angle here. I have
There you
mixed
go.
emotions about the music industry as a whole
Yes.
and the Black music industry. The music industry as a whole, if I may say, has gone to hell in a handbasket. And I
Okay.
say that because we don't have any respect for the craft now. It's about the bag. It's about the bag. It's not about the craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about, it's all this, I want to collab, I want to get on, I want to do, and all of that's cute, fine and dandy to a point. But music and the responsibility that music has invokes emotion in people. Right? One of music and performance's jobs is to invoke emotion, to make you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, happy, it literally can change your mood. A few bars of music, whether it's grunge, hip hop, go-go, jazz, classical, reggae, whatever that is. So it's very powerful. So most songs are between 3 and 5 minutes, and you can make a lot of impact in 3 to 5 minutes in a song.
Mm-hmm.
And we in the Marvin Gaye days and the Motown days and Ashford and Simpson and all kinds of people, even from old standards and class, Nat King Cole and Sammy Davis Jr., all the things that music meant, love, caring, serenading somebody. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. right? Now, I'm not saying some of what's out there isn't good. It's edgy, it's hip, it's got some vibe, but now I can't get through certain songs because I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's true. It's true.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so, however, then there's the other side, which is artistic freedom.
Yes.
Every artist wants artistic freedom and freedom of expression.
Yes.
So you have to allow a little bit of both. Now, as it relates to Black music, everything is Black music. I need y'all to write this down in the chat. Everything.
We heard that. We heard that a couple of weeks ago when that question was asked to one of the artists. You're right. Every music is Black music.
Black music, and when you think of tribal beats, when you think of African drumming, when you think of or bagpipe playing, whatever those extraneous instruments that we don't necessarily use on a daily because everybody's too busy programming drum machines. Don't get me started on that.
Okay. We're not going to do that.
And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We love technology. We love that I can record with somebody who's in another country.
Yes.
That is amazing. Yeah. Our show, Feel Better Friday, we were able to take technology and perform in real time over the internet from multiple locations with no latency. Which was unheard of. Everyone can be done. So I like the marriage of the new and the old. I like the technology with some old school. What I don't like is why do we have to, we want to replace what was, but yet you're pulling from everything that was.
Well, hold that thought because we're going to take you on because you're taking us on a journey that we've actually prepared you for tonight. Okay, so tell me, Sylver. You are, first of all, you're a product of Duke Ellington. I know you're not from DC, but we feel like we own you.
Yes,
like
I've been here since I was what?
We feel like we have you.
I've been here since I was 8 years old.
So it makes you official.
Right. We feel like you are DC born, raised, whatever. Yes. But and you went from Duke Ellington to becoming a member of the renowned singing group Chic. You are part of an A-list of singers. From Luther Vandross, Rolanda McCullough, Joycelyn Brown. What was your transition from Duke to Chic to your solo career?
Wow, that's a good question. My transition, at Ellington, I went to Ellington for dance at first.
Oh,
Shout out to the dance department and Lynn Welters and Sonja Fortune and all of them. And then I went to, my mother, of course, was like, I don't know why you don't sing. Of course, my mother has the mezzo voice of Doom Dada. So Anne was the dance teacher and all of those things. So the apple in the tree is real. But she encouraged me. And there were some other things going on at Ellington. So I took my chances and went up to the vocal music department to the late Edward Jackson, who is one of the best vocal teachers to ever do it. He is crossed over now, but he is definitely the reason that I became the singer and gained the confidence in my sound and in what I had as a singer. There's singers that can riff me under the table and high note me to death and sing circles around, whatever. But everybody has their thing. Right. Help me embrace and find mine. Now, what you might not know is that the legend Too Tall Steve Coleman, who is a DC legend in the go-go community, put me on my first recording, which was a go-go record with the Pump Blenders. What y'all know about that?
Oh, wow.
Because you work your body good. You work your body right. I know you want to work that body. Hey. What y'all know about that?
Come on.
That was my first recording. That was my first professional record. I went on to be with CJ's Uptown Crew and all of that. And the late Al Johnson, Derek Pearson, Lowell Tucker, Steve Coleman, Bay Jackson, they Reggie Baker, they all took me under their wing and just ushered me to the next level. And from there, I was with the late Nathan Heathman for many years. Y'all might remember Moment's Notice, who was a premier band back in the day,
Mhm,
like before Spur of the Moment and before Secret Society and some of these bands who are hot right now. And from singing with Nathan was Gene Carnes.
Yeah.
Don't let it go to your head, no.
DC
Music
legend.
director, and pulled me in. He said, come on up here. Come on up here. We at the Ibex in the Marvin Gaye room doing
Oh,
open.
wow. Not the Ibex.
And come on in here. And I used to sit by him on a piano bench and I would sing background. And I could harmonize my face off. I could find the part to anybody's song. And then one day he pushed me out. He was like, go on to the mic and sing the song. I was like, I ain't going out there. I'm gonna sit right here. I ain't doing it. Go on to the mic and sing the song. And then Gene came in town. And that was back then we brought people on because we were hungry for it. I didn't care about getting paid. I was going to get ready to sing with Gene Carn. That was more important. What I could gain from being in her presence, from being in her rehearsals, from being in her stage, from watching her work is what led me to the next thing. Because I wasn't worried about it. There wasn't nobody talking about no bag. Okay.
And let
While
me
we
just say,
all want to get paid, I wanted the experience of being able to say, look what I've done. I am good enough
Right.
to sing with this legend.
Yes.
Then Gene Carn and Deanna Williams and the late Philippa Brisbane hand-delivered me to Nile Rodgers and the late Bernard Edwards. And the rest is history.
Well, let me just say, just dovetailing off of what you just said about you, your voice, and other singers. I love Gene Carn. I'm in Philadelphia. She's part of the Philly sound. Like I'm all about that.
And Deanna Williams, then Deanna Williams.
Yeah, Gene sang from her soul. Her voice was not necessarily super fantastic and riffy and high and this and that, but she moved you with.
She still does.
And she still does. Look, rotation, and let me let you know, I am fangirling out every time I'm on the screen with you.
Oh my
God. Your voice is in rotation with her, Phyllis Hyman, Gladys Knight. I mean, and when you come on, there is no degradation in the scale of where I am.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So, that's who I grew up listening to. That's who my mother had the records, honey. My mother hung out with the George Butlers and the LeBaron Taylors, and all of our records said "do not sell for promotion only" because we had everybody's record. So I was in it and nurtured in it, and it's in my DNA. It's in all of our DNA, but like everything else, we don't want to acknowledge it that way. We just, I don't know why everybody's so afraid to just call it what it is. If it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck. Well, then by God, it must be.
It must be done. So let me ask you then, how important is it for artists to then stay true to that which is their artistic trueness?
It's the lifeline. It's crucial. It is the heartbeat. It is the veins that run through. Because here's the thing. Before you get all snatched and pulled and polished and all of that, what drew you in was the talent. Like one of the things I love about The Voice is that you have to hear it first.
Yeah, I agree. Alvin and I are big fans of that show because of that. We do. We text each other back and forth.
We call each other every week.
Thank you, George Pringle. I love George. Thank you. Thank you for that. I love that show because any age, any culture, anything can come and just open their mouth and go.
Just be who you are.
Yes. And I love that. I love that about The Masked Singer. I love that you don't know who it is until the end. And and they're people you would never expect. They're not all recording artists.
Right.
You know what I mean? And can sing, so but I have fought for artistic and creative freedom my entire career. It's one of the reasons I would probably be a much bigger household name had I not. if I listen to everybody who said, well, don't do this, we're going to do this over here, just give us a minute, we'll get you straight. There would be no Place to Begin record, there would be no Groovement, there would be none of the videos. I wrote the treatment for Sailing, and we were going, Daryl's family is from St. Martin, and we were going for a family reunion. I said, well, we're not going all the way down there and not shoot a video called Sailing for the song. And I had this whole plan, and the label that was supposed to help me was supposed to fund it, right? At the 9th hour, they pulled the plug.
Wow.
And for anybody who does, she mentioned Daryl. He is one of the kindest, most beautiful men, who happens to be her husband. You know, and I have to make sure that you all know who Daryl is. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Plug from Alvin to Daryl. Okay.
Yes. And so we had all this together. All the people were in place, makeup, hair, everybody was in the locations, everything was in place. They pulled the plug. I was somewhere trying to get in a bottle of wine, losing my mind, having a hissy fit, losing it. And my mother said, okay, well, when you're done, I'm going to need you to pull it together so we can figure out, because we're going to go ahead and shoot this video.
No matter what, yes.
And I have always been in a position, hallelujah, I've always been in a position to make those kind of decisions. Good ones, bad ones, but they're my decisions. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I get to sleep at night, even if I made a mistake, a financial mistake. I've made tons of producing mistakes, tons of them, because I'm a creator. That was never our lane. See, back in the day, you couldn't know those things. Your job was to make the music. Now we have to be the promoter. We have to negotiate the deals. We have to go out and get the record. You know, so being able to move the way I want to is very important. But I also welcome other energies. I want to know how do you see it? What do you think? Oh, I didn't think of that. Well, let's put our vibes together and make it happen. And that's what everybody wants. And then they get greedy. And then they want it to be how their vision of it is. And if it doesn't jive, and if you're not old enough or experienced enough or whatever enough, you'll get dropped for even having an opinion of what you think you should be.
Yeah.
You know, or you'll do it, and then after they've worn you out and pulled every ounce from you, whatever's left, now you're going to go be an independent artist because you can do it the way you wanted to in the first place. And then you start cranking out stuff, and people are like, ooh, why didn't you do that then? Well, you know.
So, well, then what have you learned, or what do you know now that you wish you had known before?
Wow. Woo, how much time we got, honey?
About 25,
about
35.
25 seconds.
I'm like, because I got questions. I got more questions.
We got to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to not be so long-winded. I'm still learning, number one. I'm still learning, because moving into a producer and an executive and an owner and all of that, having to have the responsibility of decision making, and everything on your platform that you've known to be is constantly changing, you know, is a lot. What would I have done differently was your question? What would I?
Well, I just want to know, like, what things do you know now that you wish you had known at the beginning of your career? Like, let's narrow it down to that.
I wish that I knew more about the business sooner. Okay. I believed people when they said, I'm going to sign you. I believed them.
Okay.
You know, and it took me a second to build my company or to trademark my name. Like every time I do a mentoring session with a young person, I tell their parents right now, if they're under 18, especially, go trademark their names now.
Right. Really? Okay.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Right. Listen, when websites first came out, and I had Sylverwear.com first, which was my jewelry line, I couldn't get Sylver Logan Sharp because there was a guy who was a Chic fan who bought my name.
What?
Wow.
And we had to track him down. He said, yeah, I know who you are. You about to blow up. And then you're going to have to buy it from me.
Isn't it amazing that other people believe in you more than you believe in yourself sometimes?
That's amazing.
He was waiting for it. And at the time, my dance record was hot. My dance record was really hot at the time. And so he was like, yeah, I know exactly who you are. Yeah, but that's my name.
I was going to say that.
Call me. I've been waiting for you to call me.
Oh my Lord!
And he was. Baby, he let it slip though. One day we were on his heels. He let it slip. We snatched it up. The rest is history.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was going to say he must have been at Roseland, because the night I walked up in Roseland and didn't know that you were at Roseland.
Yeah.
And you performed at Roseland, he was probably in there. That's when he stole your name.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It's a Tina Turner moment. You remember when she was like, just give me my name.
Just give me my name. When all this time was hot, I should call a name, but I ain't gonna be tacky.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like, just tell us. No,
Do it.
Right.
You can do it.
There was an artist that was out there booking herself as Sylver and singing all this time. I said, well, honey, you can sing all this time, but you can't tell people you're Sylver. No more than I can tell people I'm Beyonce. Okay? But I
Well,
can,
you just put the I instead of a Y and you can do it.
No.
Just put an I instead of a Y, Sylver.
Exactly.
So Sylver, you mentioned the mistakes. The mistakes come. If you're going to be creative, if you're going to take risks and chances, the mistakes come.
Correct.
What can you share with us one of them that really moved you forward in an important way, really taught you an important lesson?
Ooh, which one? Let's see. Well, one that was, I consider an expensive lesson. I had just finished.
And those will teach you.
Oh, listen, those are the worst ones. I had just finished the Groove Mint CD. And again, we recorded this in Stockholm, Sweden. And the people we were working with, let's just say, led me to believe that the records were coded. Okay, so for everybody who's like, what's she talking about? Albums, records, CDs, any form of digital music has a code on it. It is like a fingerprint. And this is how records are tallied. This is how royalties are collected. This is how they know how many spins and how much time and all of this music is played. And this is how we ultimately get the credit, if you will, for what we're doing. And so they said, oh yeah, we coded them. It's fine, because now it's time to press them. So once you have created an album, you've mixed it, you've mastered it. Once it's gone through a mastering process, then it gets coded. Each song gets identified by this particular code. It's like a social security number for each, and every single song on the planet has one. Every song. So I thought mine were coded. I went to press the CDs. They weren't. $2,500 later, 1,000 CDs later, and I give my CD at the time to the late Joe Gorham from WHUR.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Very good friend of mine. And he called me up. He said, Sylver, why did you give me a record I can't play? I said, I'm sorry, what? And he said, it's not coded. I said, of course it is. He said, I'm looking for the metadata. It's not in here. Like, it should come up. Like when you buy a CD and you put it in and all the information pops up, that's what didn't happen. And it could not be played. $2,500, 1,000 CDs that are now about to be coasters. Right. I still have them to this day.
Wow.
I still have them. And there's nothing I can do about it but make new ones.
Well, you can make it into a dress. You remember Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where they had that little dress thing?
Yes, right. But things like that where I trusted.
Yes.
And I should have doubled back and checked. The codes that we did have were not the proper codes for what I needed. I was in a hurry. I had to pay extra to get them expedited because I had an in-store and I needed product, and don't you dare do anything without product, all those things. And there's a formula to this. If you say I'm going to make a record, you decide this date, then you work backwards where I need 6 weeks of promotion and then this, and then it's going to take this much time to do that. That's why it takes so long for records to come out sometimes. Because of the different stages that it has to go through. So yeah, that was one very costly and painful mistake. Yes.
Wow. Thank you
for
sharing that. Yeah.
Wow. That I can't imagine, but I see the picture clearly.
Yeah.
Talking about picture, for those of us or anybody who's watching who may not know, you are an owner and creative designer of your own jewelry company called Sylverwear.
I love that name. Yeah.
Yes. And you also have an impressive list of people who have been featured wearing your collection. What inspired you to create your own jewelry line?
wow. Okay. Let's see. Where do I start? I was running around gigging with Chic and everything. And my mother, Miss Paula, at the time was going through what we now know to be fibromyalgia, myofascial trigger point disorder, panic disorder, dysthymia, and a whole litany of other things that shut her down for many years. Long story short, her younger sister, my Aunt Camille, was making jewelry as a hobby. My mother would visit. She taught Camille. Camille taught her how to make jewelry with this particular medium that we use. She came back and taught me how to make jewelry. And it started out as therapy. It started for her. It was something she could finally do with her hands on a good day. And it was also a way to create wares for me on stage. I'm okay, let me get my drag together. Well, let's make some jewelry to go with my outfit type of things. So that's where it started. And for 7 years, we just made jewelry for fun. We sold it at hair salons. We vended back in the day at church bazaars and all kind of stuff. And people would literally stop us and go, "Oh, I like your necklace. Oh, thank you. Where did you get that? Oh, I made that. You made that? Let me see." And then they come right up to me and they hold it. And, "Oh my God, you made that?" And yeah. And, and they were, I want this. And then sometimes I'd be like, "Well, let me just, here you go."
Yeah, why not?
Then I would get home and be like, "Damn it."
Because some of them are one of a kind. Like when you talk about the one that you're wearing,
all of them were one of a kind. There's only one of these, But what
that's a beautiful
so
piece.
in any case, that's how it started. And my good sister friend said, "You ought to call it Sylverwear." It used to be called Jewel Chimes back in the day when we first started. For 7 years, because it was me trying to be cute with music and jewelry and trying to be clever. And Tracy said, "You should call it Sylverwear."
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Well, I said, actually,
then everybody's gonna think I got forks and knives and and she said, "No, Sylverwear." And and we changed the name, and and the rest is history. That's it's what Sylverwear was, which is true.
Well, I remember
one thing led to another.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You still there?
And, and mother, of course. Now my mother is my business anchor, because the minute we get to accepting a check for something, she's like, "Well, let's go to the bank. Let's get the little tax ID number. Let's get the little account. Let's get the DBA." And and this, I had a company. I started my first modeling company when I was at Duke Ellington, and it was called Rainbows of the World, if you can imagine that.
Okay.
Back in the 80s. And it was called Rainbows of the World because, again, it was for everybody, and everybody was from Ellington. All the kids were in my little modeling group. And that was my first incorporated legitimate company.
I love
and
it.
She has guided me through that. Like, in other words, I may not know everything, and my mother's an educator by profession and, a researcher by all of this, degrees and blah, and talent. And for me, it was, she could recognize that my creative skills were going to win. Right? You don't want me to do your taxes, but if you need a song and a show and a script, then I'm your girl. And I think she recognized that early on. So it was always nurtured. And then, and then God ordered my steps. And every time it was another opportunity that didn't put my life in danger. There was another situation where the angels were just around me and propelled me into different situations. We did this for 7 years. Before, and I said, "Mom, one day our jewelry's going to be on celebrities, and it's going to be on the side of a metro bus one day. You just wait, you wait." And back then, Nordstrom's did trunk shows. Back then, Macy's had Blackberry, which was a subsidiary, and we were in Blackberry for weeks, doing, so we've come a long way. And then we also had bumps in the road. Well, how do you think you're going to mass produce if you're just making one? I'm like, yeah, but I have 75 of one of each one. You know what I mean? We're doing it. And Norma Kamali dressed us for a tour one year. She's fierce, just wonderful. And we were in her store, and my girlfriend had bought me these shoes made by her. And one of my shoes got destroyed in water. Ooh, y'all. And when I met her, I said, "Oh, Miss Kamali, honey, you made these shoes. They were mesh at the toe, and they were pewter, and they had these rhinestones around. And she said, oh yes, honey, be glad you got a pair. We only made like 200, and I don't make those anymore. And I was like, I was devastated on the one hand, but on the other hand, I was like, that is so fierce, honey. And I thought, and they're like, now I tell people, well, honey, be glad you got that, because now we're on to a new collection, and it is 25 plus years.
Well, let me jump in here for a minute. So, okay, let me jump in for a minute, because we're going to have to get to a little commercial break. But I also, when you were talking about your jewelry career, when you started calling it Sylverwear, I have a few pictures here of when you started, when you actually was the jewelry designer for me. And when I went on tour with Absolute Africa, and I think we have some clips that's right here. This is the Absolute. This is the first time that you did jewelry for me for the Absolute Africa
specifically.
Tour.
Oh, yes,
those were all signature pieces.
Of the most. Yep. And we literally, I came over to Alvin's place. We saw every garment. I even tried on some. We measured the necklines. We could know what this is going to get this. We're going to make, and we literally made a piece of jewelry for every single one of those outfits. And then we laid out.
Allowed me to take them on tour. You allowed me to take them on tour.
You did.
And I was scared, but I handled them like I handled my own luggage. Okay, so.
That collaboration was powerful.
Right.
That was beautiful. Yeah,
it was powerful. But look, we got more to get to you with. But before we do that,
and it was a great experience.
We have to take a commercial break. Well, I won't say commercial, a PSA break for NNPA. So
you're breaking up a bit. Can you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Break. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here.
You're right there. We're going to do a PSA. We're going to come right back, because we want to have more with Sylver. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So stay there. We're going to be right back.
Right back.
Hi, this is Ziggy Marley. And I'm very happy and privileged and humbled to receive the Black Press of America Global Icon Award. I've received many awards throughout my life, but this one feels very special to me. So I want to say I really appreciate it. Music is a powerful tool. Human beings are powerful beings. We can achieve whatever we wish to achieve if we are willing to do what it takes to achieve it, standing up or kneeling down. So again, I want to say thank you to all of you, and much love and blessings. I want to dedicate this award to my father and my mother, Rastafari.
All right. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sylver, we can have about 7 minutes with you before we have to get off of the air. And I want to share with everybody that, and you can tell them more, but on July the 9th, you have a performance coming up that's near us. And so take a few minutes to talk about that, if you will.
Absolutely. I'm excited, y'all, because I'm back at Keystone Corner in Baltimore. If you've never been, the food is amazing and the ambiance is very, very intimate, and it's a wonderful vibe. There are 2 shows, 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. And if you cannot physically make it, if you're out of town, if you're out of the country, and of course you're watching this and getting an exclusive, then you can watch the 5 p.m. show online at KeystoneCornerBaltimore.com. They're one of the only venues who still streams live concerts, which I think is awesome because everybody can't make it and they don't live in the area. But if you're not, make sure you check it out. We're doing an all white with a pop of color. I call it birthday in blanc. Y'all know how I do. And with birthday in blanc with a pop of color. And it's going to be, you know, I'm doing some originals. I've got some mashups you haven't heard before. You know, we're just going to have a really, really great time. It's my birthday celebration on my anniversary. So July 9th is my actual anniversary, and July 11th is my birthday. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to work, then we're going to turn all the way up and celebrate.
That's wonderful.
And
we'll be on the beach somewhere, but okay. Right after.
And the website is KeystoneBaltimore.com. Is that correct?
Keystone Corner, Baltimore. Keystone with a K, corner with a K, Baltimore.com.
Cool.
Well, look, before we let you go, first of all, let me show an iconic picture. She did mention that this is her wedding anniversary. Okay, so we wanted to make sure that this is iconic.
This is our favorite image.
I took that with my cell phone.
Even though I had photographers and everything, this is the image. In fact, I don't know if I bugged you about sending me the highest resolution, because I'm about to blow that sucker up and put it on my wall. This is our favorite image from the wedding.
All you gotta do is ask.
What's funny is, yes, I need that, because we did a flash mob first dance, and right before everybody joined in, that was the dip, and he caught it perfectly, and that is my favorite image from my wedding. That mine, you know, there's one other one where my mother and I, when I got down the aisle and I realized I was about to get married, I went into the holy Jesus moment, and there's a picture of my mother and I, like in a praise moment. And those are my favorite and most vivid memories of my wedding day. So thank you for that, Alvin. I appreciate that.
Why am I not surprised that your first dance was a flash mob?
I mean, because I wanted to have fun. I wanted people to have fun. I mean, we had a Good and Humor ice cream cart. I had chicken wings and saved deviled eggs after everything. Child, we had a good old time. It was great.
Well, look, before we let you go, Sylver, we like to ask a favor of you, please. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, go to KeystoneCorner.com. Baltimore.com. I have been there.
I'm about to put it into the chat, Alvin. So let me ask Sylver, what show is it again? It's the 5 o'clock show or the 9 o'clock show?
5 o'clock show, and then again at 7:30. I am doing different things in the two shows, but you can watch the 5 p.m. show for $10 on their website.
Virtual.
And it's July 9th.
5 o'clock show.
5 o'clock
July
show.
9th. Yeah.
Get your ticket. It is worth the wait. Well, Sylver, would you bless us, please? I mean, I just, first of all, we got to hear your voice. We heard it earlier, but can you just give us a couple of snippets before we get off the air tonight of a few songs that you're going to perform, please?
Okay,
please,
here we go.
Please.
Here we go,
asking too much, please.
That I'm going to do on the show. So, okay, real quick, because I know you have a lot of time. So I'm going to do Sailing Takes Me Away to Where I've Always Heard It Could Be. And I'm going to do, let's see, what else am I going to do? I'm probably going to do Love Is. And that's that giving, believing, receiving, not self-seeking, protecting, connecting, respecting, forgiving, peaceful. True love is everlasting, and I love you.
Okay. First, okay. To all of our viewers, we haven't said hello to y'all because we've been in total conversation, communication.
Right.
We haven't said
Thank
hi
you
to
all
y'all.
for being here. Thank you
all for
being
here. From Michi to Monica to Blue to JJ, all of you all who have been screaming our names tonight. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for being here. First of all, Sylver, thank you for joining us tonight, my sister. Okay. I'm going to see you on the 11th.
Listen, congratulations to you all on this whole endeavor. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And thank you for having me and for showcasing artists and amazing people on your platform. God bless y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to be there on the 9th, and I'm trying to get Vash to come. Bobby will be up in the on vacation somewhere. I can't even say where he's going to go because that's his
Martha's Vineyard. Everybody knows.
Okay, go Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, nice.
But
they
at
got
least
the internet up there, honey.
They do.
5 o'clock show.
They do.
At least you can stream. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on July the 7th again next week. And we're going to get back to, our Let's Get Newsy show because you all have been asking for it. And our words of the week this week is, no one is supposed to understand your calling. It wasn't a conference call.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. It was not a conference call. Okay.
It was not a conference call.
Caller say what? But
exactly.
Sylver and Paula.
Hi, Miss Paula.
We love you
much.
You all turn Miami out, please. And I'm wearing my.
I see you rocking your silverware. That's a classic piece.
A classic piece. Okay.
That's
I need
lapis.
some more. I need to get the showroom. Yes, I do. But look, love you all. Say that once again.
I love y'all. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
I just say thank y'all. Follow. See you next time. Y'all follow a girl and we'll see you at the show.
Yeah.
All right. And we will see you all next week on He Said.
He said.
He said.
He said.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.